Well, I came down here last night as soon as we heard that Governor Christie was sending 150 state troopers down to Baltimore to help police quell the disturbances and rioting that broke out Monday night. I got here around 8 p.m. and went right here to M&T Bank Stadium, which basically became a staging area for the police and National Guard that are here. When I went down, I could not find the New Jersey State Police. They hadn't arrived yet. So I decided that I wanted to go to the thick of the action, Pennsylvania and West Baltimore, where CVS was burned the day before. I was coming up on the curfew time. Helicopter was in the air telling people to disperse. A line of police stood blocking the intersection in front of us as demonstrators came up to that barrier. Some adults, though, were yelling at everyone to go home, fearing the clashes that had spread out the night before. One of them was Yusha, who I talked to about why he wanted to send everyone home to safety that night.
It's not The Wire, it's not The Corner, it's not an HBO special. This is our life. We're dying. Not just by the hands of each other, we're dying by the people that are sworn to protect and serve our community.
But the peace was short-lived. Bottles of water began to be thrown from the demonstrators, a lot of young kids there. They ricocheted off the police riot shields. They held their ground, but then the tear gas came. That's tear gas. Gas blanketed the street and everyone pushed back, because let me tell you, getting tear gas is not the end of the world, but it's not fun. By 11 p.m., the place was absolutely dead. So I went back to Camden Yards to see if I could find the state police staging, and lo and behold, I did. I followed them down the dark streets of West Baltimore as they took up positions in full riot gear.
Good morning, guys.
They were on foot patrol on the streets of West Baltimore at 4 o'clock in the morning, making sure the curfew was respected, making sure the city was safe.
The initial deployment was for 72 hours. Have you heard that that's going to stay? Are they coming back?
As far as we know, that definitely they're going to be here for 72 hours. It's possible it could be extended to as much as 2 weeks. We're not clear on all that right now, but they're definitely going to be here for the next few days, because Friday, police are going to release the results of their investigation to prosecutors. And if that investigation says that these officers were not at fault for Freddie Gray's death, I think people around here are bracing for more tension, more anger, and more potential looting.
There are already people handling the Baltimore situation. Right. We don't need to deploy New Jersey state troopers who don't do this on a daily basis. I even got a tweet from a viewer saying we should not be there. It's not our issue. And there have been other tweets on Twitter saying the exact same thing.
Troopers go where they're sent. They're like soldiers, they follow orders. But you've got 175 unsolved murders in Mercer County going back to 1980. Half of the murders that were committed last year in Newark are unsolved with no arrest. They got plenty of work to do right here. They got no business in Maryland.
Yeah. Ashley, what are you seeing on social media?
Social media has played a huge part in the past couple days in Baltimore. Data mining companies said they found a relatively shocking thing, that over 20 to 50 social media accounts were actually linked to inciting violence in Ferguson and Baltimore. So
the same accounts?
Yes, so the same protesters, they call them professional protesters and anarchists, that incited violence in Ferguson are also inciting violence in Baltimore.
So they have no connection to the city itself?
Exactly, taking advantage of the Freddie Gray death in order to create more violence.
Alex, thanks for being on the ground with us in Baltimore. Keep chasing.